Hello, welcome to another learning video session of Tally Made Easy. For regular update on learning videos on various financial subjects, please do subscribe our channel. In this session, we will see how job cost accounting is done in Tally. Job costing is a form of specific order costing which applies to a job undertaken according to customer requirements and specifications. Tally enables the tracking of cost and revenue information like material, labor, and overhead for a specific job or project down to the smallest detail. With a view to ascertaining the actual costs incurred for each job or project is assigned a job or project number or name. You can use job costing for the following. 1. To determine the actual cost for each job or project, location-wise. 2. To determine the revenue and expenditure and therefore the profit associated with each job or project. 3. To track overhead costs by allocating them for each job or project. 4. To identify loss on projects at an early stage. In Tally, job costing and project costing is handled the same way. This tutorial is based on a storyline of an order received. This order is considered as project. Then, this order is getting done through third parties with the materials supplied by company. For job costing and project costing, the steps and entries are same. It is just a matter of name, how you name it. Tally provides a lot of features to make sure that the users get best out of the software. So first, we will see what are the features of job costing in Tally ARP9. Now we will see what are the features of job costing in Tally ARP9. In Tally, you can create multiple jobs as cost centers and track the cost and revenue associated with each job. You can also allocate costs while the job is in progress. On completion, compare the selling price and profit with estimates. It helps you to make informed decisions based on the profitability of each job or project. The following capabilities of Tally make job costing simple and effective. 1. You can track transfer of materials from one godown to another. 2. You can track the consumption of materials at different job locations. 3. You can ascertain profitability, that is net profit or loss for a particular job or project. 4. You can view the summary of inventory movements such as opening, inwards, outwards, transfer, consumption, etc. 5. You can compare each element of cost, selling price, and profit with other jobs in a single screen. 6. You can drill down to the voucher level for reference or alter transactions. For job costing to work properly in Tally, we need to set it up properly. So next, we will see how to set up Tally for job costing. We need to do some settings in the accounting features as well as inventory features of Tally to get the desired results of job costing. To access the accounting features, press F11 from Gateway of Tally to access company features and then press F1 for accounting features. Set the following options to enable the job costing feature in your company. Set the option Maintain Accounts Only to No. That means to use the job costing features, you should be maintaining accounts with inventory. Next, set the Integrate Accounts with Inventory option to Yes. Next, move to the Cost or Profit Centers Management section. In that section, set the option Maintain Cost Centers to Yes. Also, enable the option Use Cost Center for job costing. Now, you can save the accounting feature by pressing Enter key till you reach the end, or press Ctrl+A to save it instantly. We finished the accounting feature setups. Now, we need to set up inventory feature. To set up the inventory features, you may press F11 from Gateway of Tally to access company features. Then, you may press F3 to access the inventory features. You may notice that Integrate Accounts and Inventory option is already set to Yes. Now, there is only one more feature which need to be set up under inventory features. That is to set the multiple godowns to manage the multiple job locations. To set the same, go to the Storage and Classification section. Under this section, set the Maintain Multiple Godowns option to Yes. Once this option is set, you may save the configurations by pressing Ctrl+A. Please note that if you have set your company to maintain accounts only, the option Use Cost Center for job costing will not be available. We will explain the concept of job costing through a case study, which will be more easy to understand. Please follow properly the case study storyline for better understanding. Let's look at the facts of our case study. We have created a company named Job Costing Limited. Going forward, we will call it JCL. We have made the required configurations in the accounting and inventory features as explained in the slide 7 and slide 8. JCL received an order from Buyers Limited to supply 12 computers. This is a project for this case study. JCL purchases required parts from Parts Sellers Limited based on their minimum order quantity. Since JCL do not have assembling facilities, they outsource the work to two companies, Assemblers Limited and Makers Limited. JCL supplies required parts to assemblers and makers. Assemblers and makers assembles the computer and return to JCL along with their assembling charges bill. JCL charges the cost of parts used and the assembling charges to the project. JCL charges the accessories to the project, and finally, JCL sells the final product to Buyers Limited and ascertain the project profit. Before we start with the real data entries, we will create a cost center for the purpose of using it as the project. On enabling job costing for the company, the option to use cost centers for job costing will be available in the cost center creation and alteration screen. You can enable this option either during creation or alteration of cost centers. It is important to enable cost centers created for the purpose of job costing, so that cost centers enabled for job costing will be available for selection in the job work analysis report. To create cost center from Gateway of Tally, select the menu Accounts Info and then select Cost Centers and then select the menu Create. When the cost creation screen is available, enter the name of the cost center. Then, you may select primary or the required cost center in the field under, or may create a new one if you like to group this cost center. To create a new group, you may press Alt+C while you are at under option. Set the option Use for job costing to Yes. As mentioned earlier, this needs to be enabled if you want to see the job work analysis report. This report acts as our income statement of the job or project. Then, you may press Enter and save the newly created cost center. Instead of creating cost center through this option, you can also create new cost centers whenever you need during the data entry. We will see that going forward. In our example, a cost center for buyers is created. This will be used as project. Next, we will create a godown and enable the same for job costing. Godowns in Tally are created as job locations. On enabling job costing for the company, the option to set a project for job costing is available in the master. Once a godown is allocated to the job or project, all the materials issued or received for that particular job or project will be accounted for and will reflect in the reports. It is advised to create one godown for each job or project for effective job costing, so that you can track your costs on an ongoing basis. To create a new godown, go to Gateway of Tally menu, then Inventory Info, then Godowns, and then select Create menu. Enter the name of the location and then select primary or the godown under which the location has to be grouped. This step is similar to the one we saw in the cost center creation. Keep the Allow Storage of Materials to Yes, then select a job or project to set job or project for job costing. In our example, Buyers Godown is created and allocated the project buyers to this godown. Press Enter and then press Enter again to save the godown created. Please note that, on specifying a project for job costing, the section Use for is skipped automatically, as it will assume the behavior from the cost center. For the time being, we created just one godown and one cost center. We will create the remaining cost centers and godowns while doing the data entry. Next step is to create voucher classes. In Tally, voucher classes are created to further configure the vouchers. This feature is very much useful for vouchers such as sales, sales order, purchase, purchase order, etc., as this allows the users to configure tax components, discounts, round off, etc., so that these parameters are automatically calculated by Tally itself while making the entries. We use Stock Journal Voucher class for job costing. We will create two Stock Journal classes. One, to account for transfer of material from one godown to another, and second, to account for the materials consumed for job costing. To create voucher classes, go to Accounts Info, then Voucher Types, then Alter, then select Stock Journal. Once you are in the Voucher Alteration screen, go directly to Name of Class section, and enter Transfer as the name of class to view the Voucher Type class screen. Enable the option Use Class for Inter-Godown Transfers, then press Enter to save it. Now, we have created one voucher class. We need to create one more voucher class. For this, enter Consumption as the name of class, and enable the option Use Class for Job Costing Consumption. Press Enter, and save the voucher class. Press Enter to save the voucher type. You may watch the video carefully in this slide to understand the process completely without any error. Now, we have completed all the preliminary requirements to record job costing entries. This is the time to begin with our storyline and complete the job cost accounting with job-related P&L and company P&L and balance sheet. To begin the storyline, JCL has received an order from Buyers Limited to supply 12 computers with monitors, keyboard, and mouse. JCL do not have the computer assembling facilities, and they identified 2 outsourcers, Assemblers Limited and Makers Limited, to assemble CPU for them. For this, JCL need to procure the parts and supply to the outsourcers. On inquiry, JCL got the best quotes from parts sellers and decided to purchase from them according to their minimum order quantity. JCL purchased the items, and we need to make the purchase entry. Please watch the video in this slide carefully to understand how ledgers and items are created from the purchase entry screen itself and completed the purchase entry. To record the purchase transaction, go to Gateway of Tally, then select Accounting Vouchers. In the voucher creation screen, select F9, Purchase, to bring the purchase entry screen. While recording a purchase transaction, if you want to allocate cost centers, then record the transaction in voucher mode, else enter the transaction in item invoice mode. You can toggle between these 2 options by pressing Alt+V. Since we have mapped our go down to the cost center, we will record the purchase transaction as invoice. If you want to have a look again how to attach a go down to a cost center, please refer back to the slide number 11. Change the date and reference if you wish. In our example, we begin with the first day of financial year. Next, select the party to be credited from the list of ledger accounts available. In our example, we have not created the party, Parts Sellers Limited. So, we need to create the party first. To create a party, you may go to Gateway of Tally, then select Accounts Info, then Ledgers, and then select Create. Alternatively, you may press Alt+C to create a new ledger while you are at Party Account Name field. In the given video, we use this shortcut instead of going through the Gateway of Tally option and coming back to the same purchase entry screen. Then, we need to select the purchase ledger. In our case, since it is a new company created, there is no purchase ledger. Let's create the same, using Alt+C shortcut. Now, we need to select an item from the list of items. Here, we are creating items also using the Alt+C shortcut. On selecting the item, an item allocations sub-screen for the selected item is displayed, as shown in the video. Select the go down, and specify the quantity to be allocated under the quantity field. In our example, we are bringing all the materials to our main go down, and later, will distribute to outsourcers from our main go down. Now, enter the rate, and the amount is automatically displayed in the amount field. Repeat this step for all the items. After all items are entered, enter narration if required, and then press enter to save the transaction. If you want to see the items purchased in your stock, go to Gateway of Tally, then select Display, then Inventory Books, then Group Summary, and then select Primary, as we stored all our items in the primary group. We can create new groups and record them under any group we wish. Now, you can see that all the items you purchased is available in your stock. When we have multiple go downs, we can see the stock go down wise. We will see that in the upcoming slides.
The items we purchased needs to be sent to Assemblers Limited and Makers Limited for them to make computers. We use transfer class of stock journal voucher to record the transfer of materials from one go down to another when a company has more than one go down, and account for the materials consumed for job costing. Please watch the video in this slide carefully to understand how the entries are made and view the stock position. First, we will issue materials to Assemblers Limited. To make the material transfer entries, we need to go to Stock Journal Voucher entry screen. We can access the same from Gateway of Tally, then select Inventory Vouchers. It will bring you the Inventory Voucher entry screen. To select Stock Journal and the transfer class, click F7, Stock Journal. Now, select Transfer as the class. Once you are in the Transfer class of Stock Journal Voucher entry screen, select the destination go down or create if the go down is not available to which you wish to transfer materials. You may use Alt+C shortcut to create go down. While creating go down, you may create corresponding cost center also and attach the same to the go down. Now, enter quantity and rate. Repeat this step for all items, and once all items are entered, give narration, if required, and save the voucher. Repeat the same for the Makers Limited also, to issue the materials. Once the entries are completed, we can have a look at the go down level, stock position. You will find that the transferred materials are appearing under respective go downs. Next, we will see how defective parts are handled. In this slide, we will see return of defective materials and reissue of new materials in place of defective parts. Return and reissue is recorded through transfer class of stock journal voucher. Consumption class of stock journal is used for writing off the defective parts. You may watch the video carefully to understand how these entries are made. Please pay attention to the godowns used for each transaction. There were some defective parts in the materials supplied to outsourcing companies. So, we have to make entries to take back them to JCL stock and issue new materials to outsources. First, we will make entry for return of defective materials, and then we will make entry for issue of new materials, and finally, write off the defective materials to the project. A single voucher is used in this tutorial for taking back the defective materials. You may use separate vouchers for the same. For taking back the defective materials, destination godown is set as main location so that the defective materials will be moved from job location to main location. After entry for return is made, we will have to reissue the materials to the outsources. This entry is similar to the one we made in the slide 14 to issue the materials. After the issue is over, we need to charge the defective materials to the project. For that, the defective materials in the main location needs to be transferred to buyer's godown through another transfer class stock journal voucher. After these entries are made, let's have a look at the godown level stock position. You will see that buyer's godown is with defective materials and assemblers and maker's godown is with materials required to make computers and main location is with the remaining materials. Now, as we see, buyer's godown holds some materials which is not usable at all. So, we need to write off them and charge to the project. To do so, we will use the consumption class of stock journal voucher. Let's look how it is done. To pass the consumption stock journal voucher entry, go to stock journal voucher and select the consumption class. Consumption class has two sections. One is for source or consumption and the other one is for destination or production. For writing off the materials, we need to enter the materials to be written off in the source or consumption section and leave the destination or production section as blank. This will write off the materials available in the source godown. Destination or production section is for manufacturing. We will see that in one of the upcoming slide when the outsources are returning the assembled computers. Once this entry is completed, let's look at the godown level stock position again, and you will notice that the buyer's godown is empty and all other godowns remain as it is. To recap this slide, we use transfer class stock journal voucher to take back the defective materials, to reissue materials, and to transfer materials between godowns. We use consumption class stock journal to write off defective materials. In the upcoming slides, we will see how issued materials are converted to final product, how the assembling charges are charged to the project, how the remaining accessories are issued and charged to the project, how sales entry is made, and how the profitability of project and company looks like. In this slide, we will see how to make entry for job work charges or assembling charges, how to convert the parts to final product, and how to receive back the final products from outsources. We will also check the stock position and the project cost at the various levels. First, we will record the job costing charges. To record this transaction, we will use journal voucher. To use journal voucher, go to Gateway of Tally, then select Accounting Vouchers. While you are at Accounting Voucher Entry screen, press F7 to access the Journal Voucher screen. Here, we debit job work expenses and select the buyer's cost center for capturing the expenses of project and credit the outsourcing service provider. Once this is over, have a look at the job work analysis report, which can be accessed from Gateway of Tally. To access the job work analysis report, select the display menu from Gateway of Tally, then select Statement of Inventory menu, then select Job Work Analysis menu. When you are here, you will be presented with a list of cost centers which were enabled for job costing. From this list, select the project buyers. Now, you will see that the job work expenses is added to the project. Next, we have to manufacture the computers and consume the parts given for manufacturing it. For this purpose, we use consumption class of stock journal voucher. Go to Gateway of Tally, then select the Inventory Vouchers, and then select the Stock Journal, and select the Consumption class. Once we have the voucher screen ready, enter the paths given to outsourcing companies in the source or consumption section. Once the paths are entered in the consumption section, move to the destination or production section. Create a new product called computer and enter it there. Mention the quantity and enter the rate as total of each parts so that total cost of parts and total of computers are equal. In our example, we are creating 2 separate consumption journals for better understanding of the entry. When you do it, you may use single voucher with the respective quantity to record the manufacturing entry. Now, if we look at the godown-wise stock position, you will see that assemblers and makers godowns are empty and there are 12 computers in the buyer's godown. Now, have a look at the job work analysis report to understand the project cost. To recap this slide, we passed an accounting journal to record the job work expenses and debited it to the buyer's project. Then, we converted the parts given for assembling into computers through consumption class of stock journal voucher. We also checked the stock positions at the various stages and also monitored the project cost at various stages. In the upcoming slides, we will add the remaining accessories required for the project to the project cost, and finally, we'll sell the products and look at the profitability of project and company. We will also see the balance sheet of the company. In this slide, we will transfer the remaining accessories such as keyboard, mouse, and monitors to the project and will consume it there. Then, we will have a look at the stock positions of different godowns and cost of the project. First, transfer the accessories to buyer's godown from main location using transfer class of stock journal voucher. Now, if you check the stock positions, you will see that the accessories are reduced from the main location and the same is available in the buyer's godown. If you check the project cost, you will see that the closing stock of the project is increased by the cost of accessories transferred to this godown. Now, we will again go to the stock journal voucher and select the consumption class for entry. In the consumption class, enter the accessories in the consumption section and leave the production section blank. Save the voucher. Now we have consumed the parts into the project, or say absorbed the cost of these accessories into the project. Now, if you check the project costing, you will see that the value of these accessories are appearing in the consumption along with the defective materials written off earlier. Also, check the stock position to see that the accessories are removed from the godown and only computers are appearing there. Alternatively, you may keep the accessories in the project itself and sell accessories along with computers as separate items. We will explain this aspect during sales entry recording. To recap this slide, we transferred the accessories to the project using transfer class of stock journal voucher. Then, we consumed the same in the project to absorb its cost to the project. We also checked the project costing and stock positions at the various levels. In the upcoming slide, we will see how the sales entry is made and will ascertain the profitability of the project. We will also see the profit and loss of the company and the balance sheet. In this slide, we will pass the sales entry to sell the computers to Buyers Limited and will see the project profitability. We will also see the company profit and loss account and company balance sheet. To record the sales transaction, go to Gateway of Tally and select Accounting Vouchers menu from the list. Alternatively, you can press the hotkey V to access the accounting vouchers. Once you are in the accounting vouchers, press F8 to bring the sales voucher entry screen. Once the screen is available for entry, you may change the date if you wish. You may also give reference or skip it. Normally, purchase order number of customer is mentioned here. Then, you may select the customer or create if not available. Then, enter the item to be sold and the quantity. In our case, it is 12 numbers of computer. For our example, each computer is sold at a price of 25,000. At this point, you may recall that, in the previous slide, it was mentioned that we can sell the computer and its accessories separately, rather than selling it as a single unit. In such case, you don't have to consume the accessories, as shown in the previous slide, and may bill them along with computer. When you sell the accessories separately, then your price needs to be split among the computers and accessories, or bill the computer at full value and bill accessories at nominal value of 1 each. You may enter narration, if required, and save the sales voucher. Now, look at the project costing. You will see 300,000 in sales accounts, 208,000 in consumption, 12,000 in direct expenses. All the expenses in the project amounts to 220,000. And finally, there is a profit of 80,000 rupees. Now, let's move to the profit and loss account of the company. You can access the same from the gateway of Tally itself under the reports section. In the company P&L, you can see the sales of 300,000 and profit of 80,000. Here, you may notice the value of closing stock as 68,250. This is the value of all remaining materials in the main location. Now, we will move to balance sheet. Balance sheet also shows the P&L balance of 80,000 and closing stock of 68,250. With this, we are winding up this learning video on job costing. To recap, in this slide, we passed sales entry for sale of computers using sales voucher and analyzed project profitability. Then, we compared the project profitability with company P&L. We also had a look at the balance sheet of the company. Hope you enjoyed this session and gained a fair knowledge on the job cost accounting in Tally. Do feedback us with your valuable suggestions and queries to abraham@jaxllp.com or info@jaxllp.com. Thank you for watching this video. Have a good day.